Race 8, however, is the clash of the day. It's Inner Flame v Skyfield. It's a Class 3. It's over 1,200 metres. Inner Flame, Alexi Bedell reunites. He's won 3 from 4 on the horse. Inner Flame is unbeaten in 2 first-up starts. Super Dobbin gets his best draw so far. Lockheed has a last next to his name, but pulled up with an irregular heart rhythm. Cruising should be able to roll forward with Jerry Chow's a £10 claim. Skyfield first start in Class 3. Tempest Express, formerly Napster for Joe Pride, wins over 1,250 metres twice at Canterbury and Sydney. The improving type, number 9, Moidaki, and 11, True Legend, comes into Class 3 for the first time, and he's a dual 1,200 metre winner as well. Cruising, he's been cruising on the Chung Fa Highway, Tom.
Certainly has been, and having a look here at True Legend, with Hinian Swiftness coming out of the race, that's sort of changed it, because you'd expect Hinian Swiftness to be putting a little bit of pressure on, if not leading. So True Legend could get a nice enough lead in the race. Cruising's another one that can go forward, and also Inner Flame. So those three are going to be up the front. You'd say True Legend, though, should be able to prevail. Smart leader there with Lockheed, the long-standing maiden. Moraki out wider, and Skyfield and Super Dobbin from the rear. But maybe True Legend looks to just back the tempo off a little bit in front.
Inner Flame looks good going into this race. We know he's a really high-class horse. He's only been beaten once. He's had 5 starts to 4 wins here, and he looks quite forward for a nice run. Alexi Bedell will take the mount, and he knows the horse very well. Cruising's been working well. He's super keen here, and look, he's going to be right on the pace in this race. I wouldn't be surprised if he runs a bit of a race at a price. His work's been good, and he's won off a rating of 73. He gets a £10 claim, so he's going to have a really light race. Here is Skyfield. He's just at the back there, going nicely. Nice little workout, jump out for him down the back straight. Daily Beauty sort of leading the way, and Skyfield, you can see, was going a lot the better.
We'll get to Skyfield and an interview with Casper Founds in just a moment. Firstly, though, Tom, Inner Flame, this is his trial. The horse that he runs second to here happens to be California Rad, who won on Wednesday night. Yeah, and he won impressively too, did California Rad. He was out fast in this recent barrier trial. I thought he looked pretty good in it as well. In his last outing, he was particularly quick out of the gates when he won over President's Choice and kicked very well to a win. So I think he looks forward. Gate number 1 should get a perfect run through from there compared to gates 11 and 12 he's had in his last couple of outings, and I think he's good enough to win this, Paul. Yeah, look, it's going to be a really good race, this, and he's going to get the perfect run. It's just whether he can beat Skyfield on the day. I think he can. Lockheed, you'd think they're all outside of Inner Flame and Skyfield, Paul, are playing for placings at best here. Yeah, well, Lockheed is still a maiden. He's a long-term maiden, isn't he? He's been beaten on the bob a couple of times. Zach Purton aboard. He trialled well enough, but we've seen this before. Yep, we've seen it before, and he just keeps delivering placings. So, look, he led in this barrier trial, wasn't pressured too much. He had a blood in the trachea and a regular heart rhythm last time out, but not a fan. 4.6 is his place price at the moment, Lockheed. Here is Moiraki winning a trial. Only had the 4 starts, but it's just getting better all the time. Yeah, he is. He was caught wide down the side last time out, and then made good ground over the concluding stages. He sat second in this trial behind Flying Bonus, who did zilch on Wednesday night at Happy Valley, but he was able to reel him in late over the final stages. Thought the trial looked good, showed some promise last season. I think can run some sort of a race here at a bigger price. He barrier 10 in a strong race. I reckon he's got a win in him, but I don't know if it's going to be this race. Casper Founds was blowing kisses at the camera after winning the last race at Happy Valley on Wednesday night. He's got his very talented galloper Skyfield having his 4th start. Might be doing cartwheels with some of the runners he's got leading up to this race. He might be going for 4 or 5 by the time we see the Chestnut Run in race number 8.
Casper Skyfield, he won impressively last time out. How's he done over the off-season?
Yeah, he's done really well, Ed. I haven't trialled him for this for his upcoming start, because he's got that residual fitness from the end of last season, and he's had a couple of nice bits of work on the grass, and I think I've got him pretty much where I want him for his first up run.
He's only had a few race starts, Casper. Is he a horse that you've had to manage carefully along the way?
He's had a couple of niggling issues, which we've just tried to look after and nurse him along. And right now, it's a big season for him, so I'm treating him like a horse with a lot of potential. And obviously a type of horse that I would train for the Classic Mile. That's my target with him this season, so he'll be progressing distance-wise as well. A little bit of a tricky barrier, Nate, but he's got to learn to race. He's still inexperienced. He still needs to know how to race, so he'll just go back and we'll teach him again, if he gets 1 or 2 races wrong through the prep, that's part of his learning process. But the one thing he does have, he has an explosive turn of foot. And, you know, once he really gets to know what his job is, I think then you'll see a pretty handy horse after the next couple of starts.
From an educational point of view then, did you like the way that Joe rode him last time out weaving through the field?
Yeah, he needed that, you know what I mean? He just got lost his first couple of starts, you know, but like anything, you know, they haven't got the experience. You know, you're coming to Hong Kong, which is the toughest racing jurisdiction in the world. They need some race experience to really get them there. And it gets harder as you get through the classes because the competition of horses are, you know, the horses are very, very smart here, especially the young horses that are coming through the system. So along the way, he's going to meet some good horses, which is great, you know, but in my mind, I've got a very high opinion of the horse. And hopefully, you know, by the end of the season, we would have achieved that.
As far as Sunday is concerned, you mentioned the competition. You take on Inner Flame, who looks pretty smart, true legend, a progressive type. What's your take on the field that he takes on?
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely striking a field with a lot of depth. You know, some really good progressive horses in there. So it's a great starting point for us to see exactly where we are. And, you know, hopefully we'll be very competitive and make our presence felt, mate.
OK, 4 or 5 might have been a bit of a stretch, but he has got a few chances throughout the day and some big goals for Skyfield, Paul.
Yeah, very much so. Look, he is being aimed at this mile, isn't he? The classic mile, as Casper says there. This is fresh up 1,200 metres. It's not going to be his grand final. He'll get back from barrier number 8. He's up against a really good sprinter here in Inner Flame. So it's quite a fascinating contest. He might be just good enough to win, but he's going to be a short price, so I'm happy to go with the other one, Inner Flame.
Yeah, I'm happy to go with Inner Flame as well because he's had that trial coming into with us. I know he has to shoulder a big weight against a progressive horse like Skyfield, who just has to overcome that barrier draw, but be a good clash for the afternoon.
You two should be disgusted jumping off the Skyfield bandwagon. You won't be on the show next week. He's true legend. He's also up in grade here, Tom.
He is. He's another one in this race by deep field. This, although a colt, is true legend. He showed plenty of promise last season, winning 2 of his 6 starts, a couple of thirds and a fourth, 1 unplaced effort. But he was well rated in front, I thought, last time out and fought hard. And he looked good in his recent barrier trial through between runners. So I think he'll be up on the pace here and should give a good sight.
Yeah, I like him now that Hinwan Swiftness has come out of the race because I think he's going to get a little bit easier. So I put him in on a minor line, this horse, a true legend. He is quite promising.
So non-believer one's going with number 1.
Yeah, well, look, it is the Quinella, isn't it? He might be just too good and you could be giggling all the way down the straight there, Mark. But I've got the 1 to beat the 6. I think that's a standout Quinella. I'm going to throw Cruising into the Quinella places, though, because his work's been really good. He's won off a rating of 73. With that £10 claim, he's got 115. And when he's right, he's a real tough horse. And I think he is right. A true legend in for 4th. So 1, 6, 5 and 11.
I'm with the 1 as well, and that is Inner Flame. Think he'll be tough to beat. He looked good in that recent trial. His track work's been good. California Rad came out and franked that trial with winning on Wednesday at Happy Valley. So he's on top, Inner Flame. Skyfield goes in, true legend, and Moraki on a minor line off the back of his recent trial. So 1, 6, 11 and 9.
It certainly does look like the clash of the day. Inner Flame and Skyfield will take place at 4:35 Hong Kong time. Off to a break here on Racing to Win. Still a couple of races to have a look at next.